Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our webinar and part of a webinar series from Microsoft for Project for the Web. The one that you're seeing today is called Fast and Easy Product Launch Logistics. So essentially what we're going to be doing is looking into what it might take to organize and run a meeting for an organization that's launching a new project. So with that, we're going to go ahead and start here. I wanted to give you first a little bit of background around how Microsoft has been doing things in the project management world. So we'll start with where we've been and then focus most of our session on where we're going. So many of you have probably heard Project Professional, the desktop client that Microsoft introduced many, many years ago. It's a very robust solution, does a lot of interesting scheduling kinds of things, very complex, a lot of things that you can do with that tool. But because of that robustness, it's not necessarily the easiest tool, and not everyone who isn't a project manager knows how to use it or what to do with it. So it can be a little troublesome for average people who are running projects here and there, but not as a 100% of their job interest. So that's the desktop client. Along with that, there is Project Online, introduced many years ago as an on-premise solution and now as a web-based solution for managing a whole set of projects and the resources associated with them, the portfolio management components of it, a lot of different things that system does. Again, very robust, very rich in what it can accomplish. You can do tons of reporting through Power BI. You can look at things in a very a big overview. So specific projects that you want to see and drill in on more so than others. There's a Project Home that helps you get to various kinds of components. So a quick and easy launch for different kinds of things. All of that are components of the Microsoft portfolio management solution that has been around for quite some time. What's being introduced this week is what we're calling Project for the Web. And Project for the Web is intended to help people who are not necessarily professional project managers, who don't have to do that every day as part of their normal job. They're trying to do other things like launch products. So project management is something they have to do, but it's not necessarily something that they are trained to do. So this product is intended for that audience. And much easier to use, much simpler, but still a ton of power in it. And you'll see that it adds all of the other capabilities as well. So you can use this in conjunction with Project Online, and you certainly have all of the robustness of Power BI, Project Roadmap, the Project Home. All of those components are there and available for you as well. The nice thing about Project for the Web, and we're going to drill into this a bit more, is that it allows you to do a team approach to your planning. So we'll be using Microsoft Teams to demonstrate a lot of the things as we move forward. But now let's drill in and make it be a little bit more realistic to the world of launching a product. We can't possibly identify and put all of those pieces into this short little 30-minute presentation for you. So what we're really going to do in this one is pretend that we have this product launch going on, tons and tons of things that have to happen for it. And we're going to drill in specifically to events and how we're going to manage events in various local areas and see what that looks like. So we're going to focus in, drill in here on the event component of this. And specifically, one of my teammates here, Lori, is going to help us and drill into what's going on in the Denver market. So we're going to do that very shortly here. I'm going to launch this and see what we can do with it. We want to do a general introduction into the product set that we're talking about. So we'll show you a bit of a roadmap. We'll show you a bit of Project for the Web, and then drill in more specifically into how you use Teams and how you use this product to make it easier for you to manage a setup as you move forward. This is an example, just a quick screenshot of the roadmap and the way that you can manage different things. So I've thrown some things together here to show you 4 different launches that we're working on and where they are in their planning process. So the Vancouver launch is already done. We have one going on in Seattle, one in Denver, and one in Toronto at different times over a couple of month period. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and move us forward into using the real demo tool now, rather than doing a slideshow presentation for you. So just a moment, I'll switch gears and you'll see what you're seeing here in a screenshot in the actual live system. All right, so what I showed you just a moment ago in the PowerPoint is really a picture of this screen that I have in front of me right now. So this is my home page essentially. And from here, I can do things like create a brand new blank project. I can create a new roadmap if I want to, or I can go pick one of these things that's a favorite that I've already been working on and quickly go into one of those or into any one of these projects that's here. And if I wanted to, I can also go into a project online through this quick link here. So just a landing page for me to quickly get into a variety of different things that are available. I'm going to go look here for just a moment at the product launch roadmap. Again, this isn't the intent of this presentation to show you how to do these things, but know that it's there and you have control over what projects you want to put in here and what projects are not of interest to you. So this is something that you can manage yourself. I'm going to give you just a quick presentation on what this new project for the web component can do for you by using a test example. Nothing in here that's going to be very important. I can throw it away when I'm done with this, very simple. And so I've set it up here. I'm calling it test. I can put in a task into this. I can assign it to someone who's on my team. And I'm going to assign that one to Chris. I can give it a duration. Maybe I want to add another column or two. So different kinds of things that I can do. I definitely want to know when this particular item is done and move forward with various kinds of things that I can add. This one I think I'll assign to myself and so forth. So a lot of different ways to go about putting information into the system, different ways that you can look at the data as well. There's board views, so you can see this in more of an agile kind of format to see where things are in progress. I can add different buckets here if I wish to and look at them that way. So maybe by category, whatever makes sense for me. And then I can also see them on a timeline if I wish to. So just pretty quick and easy approach to how you do things. And these allow you to do things, manage things by clicking within the timeline and move it forward that way. So that's the idea behind this, but enough of the generalities around it. What I'd like to do now is turn this over to Lori and let her take us through how this works in a real world with the Denver product launch. So Lori, it's all yours.
Let me get off mute here. Hello, everybody. And I'm excited to show you what I've learned about Project for the Web. It's pretty easy and fun to use. So I'm going to start out with my project screen, which is different than Rose's, of course, but has all the same features. And we're going to look at the Denver launch, which is the schedule I set up to launch this amazing project that we've developed in the Denver area. So as you can see, I have a project set up and we're looking at it in the grid view, which is an easy way to kind of just see everything. And to set it up, you just type these things down, add the people, etc., add whatever other columns that you want to see. And then there's the board view, and there's also the timeline view, which is where I'm going to focus on in this demonstration. So as you can see, everything's set up. You can see the durations on tasks. Things aren't really connected very well, but I've got a general idea of how this launch is going to go. Now, what I want to do is move this over to the Teams platform because I got to find it here. Let me open it up here and move it over. Bear with me one second. So if you're not familiar with Teams, I'm going to give you a little brief demo of that. So this is Teams, and as you can see, the project that I just showed you in Project has been connected to a Teams site. Now, I can set up the project and that's fine, but my team members can't see it. So I want to move it into a location where everybody on the team can have access to it and we can communicate about it. So Teams is an amazing collaboration platform. I'll briefly go through it. You can see here that I have different teams set up. I have one for the Denver launch event. I have one for the Vancouver launch event just for this demonstration. Within this team, I added all the people on my team, so whenever we communicate or share files or add anything else to this team, everybody on the team can see it and can use it and work on it. So we have a conversations tab here, and I'm gonna see if I can get Rose to meet with me this afternoon. And to tag somebody, you just put the @ sign in front of it like in other Microsoft tools. And that'll go to her, she'll get notified, and the rest of the team also is aware that we're meeting. There's also an area for files that your team can share. You can put a wiki out here, you can do the project, and then if you click on this little plus here, you can add a multitude of different tools and apps that your team can use. And there's just an amazing number of items down here that you might want to use. So this is a great way to communicate, to collaborate, and to just make your team just more functional and more efficient. So for this demonstration, I'm going to go back into the project because that's really what we want to focus on here. And we're going to look at, again, I don't have a lot of space here, but we're going to look at the timeline view. And every task here has options with it. So I'm going to show you how each one works. So we've outlined our Denver launch strategy. That's completed. Now I want to see really what the details are for it. So if I click on this little ellipsis here and go in there, I can do a multitude of things. I can delete the task, I can move it, whatever. But what I want to do is open the details. So if I open the details, it gives me the start and finish date. It gives me the duration that we set up. It shows that it's 100% complete. I've put it in a Denver launch bucket. You can see that 16 hours have been done on it and there's no work remaining. And then if I wanted to, I could also add a dependency from here. So those are all the different options that you have on every task. Now, another way that you can get into that that's easier is to just double click on the task itself and it opens it up, and you can move things around. You can click from task to task and move through your project schedule that way. So it's really easy and fun, actually. So we're going to go through, I'm going to show you some other options. So the next task that I have here is to decide on the campaign activities, and we've started this task. If I go into it, you can see it's 3 days of work, and it's 33% complete. But we think it's going to take a little bit longer. So I am going to change this. I have 2 ways that I can change the duration. I can change this and say 4 days. It's going to be longer, more than we really wanted, but it's just going to take us a while to get it done right. And if you look at it, it moved that out another day. Now, the other way that's easier to do that is to just, with this little arrow, just pull it in to where I really want it to be. I really only want it to be 3 days. So we're going to do that. And it just spreads it or shrinks it as you want it to go. So that's the fastest way to do it. But it's fun and it's easy and moves things out really quickly for you. Now, the other thing that's kind of fun to do and that's important is that once I got that done, then I created, once we get that done, then we need to create our messaging for the launch. What is it that we want to say? And so I have that set up to happen as soon as the campaign strategy is done. And then after we do that, I need to do a press release. I need to figure out what trade shows I'm going to do. I need to make updates to my website. And all of those tasks are dependent on the message being completed, right? So what I want to do is show a dependency that once that's done, then these other things need to kick in. So the easiest way to do it is to grab the circle, click on it, and you see the circles that show up, and you just drag over to the one you want to connect it to, and it moves it out and connects it so that you know that things are happening in the right order. Another way to do that is to double click on the task itself, and you scroll down to the bottom and you want to add a dependency, and it lists all of the other tasks that you can make this dependent on. In this case, it's create a message, so I'm going to create the message and then close it, and you'll see that everything is connected. So one of the things that I did not add in here is my social posts, which we know is really important. So we're going to add a new task from this view. And I'm going to assign this one. My team's already set up, so I'm going to assign it to Robin. But I'm kind of the kind of person that I want everything in order, so I know what's coming next. So if I click next to the number, I get a little hand, and I can pull that up and put it in the place in the schedule that I think it should be. So it's assigned to Robin, but it doesn't have any dates. It's not associated with anything. So I need to open the task, open the details, and I think this is going to take a couple days. So I'm going to say 2 days, and I'm going to add it to be dependent on, hold on a minute, on the creating the message as well. So I'm going to do that. It puts dates in for me. I can change those dates if I want, but the key is that it's now dependent on the message being completed. So if I want to change the dates on this, let's say we don't want to do this until the 8th, just for grins. If I click on the calendar, I have all these options for moving around to find the dates that I want. And voila, everything's connected, and you can kind of see the flow of how the project is going to go. My next task is attend a trade show. So Tony's assigned to do this trade show, but Tony can't attend. So I want to get someone else assigned to it. So I can go in here and I can pick one of these other people, but actually there's a different person that I need to add to my team that is going to actually do the trade show for us. So in order to add a new person to my team, I go to my team in Teams, if you will, my Denver launch event team. And if I click on this ellipsis, I'm going to manage the team, and I'm going to add a new member. So all I have to do is add a member, and I think I'll add Chris to this one. So we're going to add Chris to my team. Close it, and then go back to my schedule. It's working on it. And then go to my trade show, and I want to add Chris. So let's see. Okay, well, maybe I need to refresh first. Let's do that. Sometimes I move faster than it does. Okay, so now I'm going to go in, and Chris isn't there. I don't know why Chris isn't there. So
it's okay, Lori. I think it didn't actually connect when you said you were going to add him. It didn't happen. So
no, okay. So
pick somebody else.
Thank you for that. So normally that would happen. I could go back and check it, but that's how you would add and replace. And all I'd have to do, let's just say I'm going to do this instead. So if I add my name and I take Tony off, it's that simple. You just click the name and change it. So the 10 trade show is kind of out here by itself. I really want to make sure that that doesn't happen until we've registered. So just kind of a reminder. So if I click on that, and then I add a dependency again, I want to do it after I've registered for the trade shows. So I'll add that dependency, and then we're all connected. So we've got the whole project connected. Really, that's all we were going to do for this launch. So we're done when that's completed. So what you can do is also set up milestones. And milestones are events that are they don't have a duration. It's just saying this is done or this is started or whatever. And in this case, we want to say that the Denver launch is completed, and it being completed is dependent on the trade show being completed. So we're going to attach to that. And as you can see, then it's showing that my project is completed, and you can see the full schedule. And because it's in teams, the whole team can see what's going on, and they can interact with this and talk through it. Now, one of the other things we talked about was the board. Rose kind of went through this as the agile approach to looking at things. And for this particular thing, since we have all these shared resources between these different launches, I thought it would make sense to group them by buckets. So I have a bucket list, and actually this one should be moved over here. So we're going to add it. And you can reorganize these as you want to and move things over. If I wanted to say, no, this is really Vancouver. I mean, we know that's not true, but that's easy to move. And then if I wanted to add another one, I think I need to add a Toronto bucket because I haven't done that yet. It's as easy as just clicking on it. Toronto. And it's done. And then you've got this task view. Or the bucket list view, and on your timeline, again, just real quick, if you click on a task, you have a bucket item, so you can put these items in these different buckets from here, and then when you look at the board view, you can also see them that way. It's just another easy way to reorganize your work and keep track of everything. And again, using Teams is amazing because there's just it's just a great way to collaborate and keep your team all in one place. And there's a lot of fun things you can do there. So anyway, that's our Denver launch. We're going to be super successful. So I'm going to pass it back to Rose now.
Okay, thanks, Lori. And really, that's the essence of what we wanted to present to you today. So I would like to, for just a moment, take you to some of the questions that you all had around the presentation that we've been making, and we'll talk through some of those. So will there be a recording? Yes, there is a recording, and we will make that available. So that'll be available to you after the fact here. And let's see, there's another question around why the new blank project is not available. Good question. It may be that as this is rolling out to organizations, it may not be something that's available in your organization quite yet. And once it is, then that will be put in place for you. Another possibility is that the administrator who controls this hasn't allowed that to happen at this point in time. So there's a couple of things that might be causing that for you. Hopefully one of those will resolve it for you fairly quickly. And then let's see, there was another question around adding people to the projects. There are some differences based on how your organization runs and controls Office 365 and the membership and the use of Active Directory, different kinds of things like that. So depending on how your organization does things, you may be able to add people very easily, or it may take a little bit more work from you to accomplish that. So it depends on a lot on the administration policies of your organization. For many organizations, you can add external people even. So if we needed to add someone to our project who was from outside of our organization, you can invite them to a team as a member of a particular team. They would not be involved in anything else, but they'd have all of the capabilities, the robustness of that team solution, and be able to see and act on the project as well. So those are the basics. There's a lot more to all of these products, and as you know, if you're a Microsoft user, there will be new features added, many new different things over time. So I'd stay tuned through this week, next week, many announcements that will be coming out over as new features and new capabilities are added, and we're looking forward to seeing all of that. Please do stay tuned to that. And if you have any questions, we're happy to answer them at a later point for you. So We are one of Microsoft's gold partners, have been working in the portfolio management world since Microsoft began working with Project Server and Project Online. So a lot of background there, as well as integration capabilities for that solution. So with that, I'll open it up. If there are any other questions, we'll take those from you now. And if not, we'll wish you a good day and enjoy some of the other presentations that are coming to you the rest of this week.
And just to reiterate, yes, we will be providing a recording. So that will be coming after the presentation.